Hey guys, welcome back to Wuchang Fallen Feathers. This is part 26. Once you spawn in at the shrine in the Shoe Sanctum, we're going to turn completely around and go out the door to the left. Now this all is going to look very familiar, but just a little bit different. When you come out, you'll see that the path to the right has been completely blocked off. Here I'm just going to put my lifesteal pendant back in as we just came back from a boss. So let's get that pendant on and go to the left. And again, paths are completely blocked off here. The enemies are going to be a good bit stronger this time, but so are we, so it's all good. When you come out here, there's only one way that you can go. You can come up here and look around, but there's nothing up here. Everything has been completely devastated, which I guess is why it's the, you know, it's in ruins. So go down the steps here. This door will be open. There's nothing over in this area. We want to go down the stairs. This is where we first met the panda and the storyteller over here in this cave. But it's not going to be so nice and cozy this time because we have two red-eyed enemies waiting for us in here. But this is well worth it because each of them gives a red mercury essence. So 2 free upgrades pretty much. They're not very difficult. They're the bird enemies. And they tend to stagger pretty quickly, as you can see. So I like to get them one at a time. If you can, run to the left first because the other one comes down the stairs from the upper level. So if you can take out the one on the bottom level before the one up top makes his way down, that'll be very helpful. We made very short work of him. He was super easy. And you get 2 free red mercury essence. I say free. I mean, you had to kill the enemies in order to get it, but you know what I mean. If you come up here, there is a chest that you can kick open for a benediction. Those are not needed for trophies, but they are very helpful. And you'll see in the next couple of videos, we're going to be relying pretty heavily on those benedictions. So, once you've taken care of those guys, we're going to exit out of the cave and we'll have to go back the way we came because all the other pathways are blocked. So let's head back up to the Shoe Sanctum and then we will exit out of the front door. You can come over to the shrine if you like and use your essences. I did kind of make a habit here toward the end. If I had any mercury to trade in for an essence, I would do that and just stack it. So that way if you die, you're not losing so much. It's already converted into essence and you can come back later when you have a lot and do major upgrades. If you don't know what you want to do right now or you don't really have time. So when you come down here, if you remember, we had a red-eyed enemy here. It might have been our very first red-eyed enemy ever that was here. Well, this time we have one of those giant bird creatures. And if you think back to the Avian Marsh area, there was one of those guys walking around and we avoided him. We didn't engage him. We just kind of ignored him. Well, these guys are mildly difficult. They're not so bad, but they are a nuisance. We want to take this guy out, and unfortunately they're very hard to stagger, so just going up and doing a bag stab isn't really going to do anything. They are pretty susceptible to fire, as you can see, so if you can get them on fire, that will be very helpful. And he uses a lot of magic, but he also has a sword. I find he uses the sword less than magic. So just try your best to take him out. Watch out for his attacks from far. He'll blow like wind at you or something, and then he does like a magic lightning thing. There are a lot of items scattered around here, and none of them are super important. They're all just consumable items, but you do get quite a bit of the red mercury. And once you're done cleaning up this area, you can either go to the right and cross the invisible bridge, or you can go straight. Both of these paths converge together. I'm going to go straight because there are more enemies to take out over here. You can cross this wooden bridge, which for some reason I don't remember it being here before. There is a bird enemy to the left. He's not a red-eyed enemy, I don't believe. He's just a regular bird enemy. And he can be quite annoying, mainly because there are other enemies around, just regular enemies, and they tend to make it harder to take him out. So if you can, try to avoid doing what I did and aggroing all three of them at once. Try to take out the smaller ones before engaging with the bird enemy, if possible. Once you've taken these guys out, this area should look vaguely familiar. This is where we talked to the NPC in this house over to the left right there. We had to go and find a paper for her, and then we gave her a dough figurine as well through the door. And then straight ahead, there was another house there, but we talked to the NPC, but we didn't have to do any quests for her. Those poor dogs look so terrible. You can come over here. There's a single enemy and an item, but it's not necessary. None of this is very important. When you come around and exit around the house, this leads you back to the main path, which you should remember. And there is a bird enemy here. Try and get a backstab on him if you can to take him out quickly. And a bird with an arm feather is watching from the rock. Now we can head back and make the loop to collect the remaining items that are scattered around, and one of which will be very important. So you definitely do want to backtrack. I guess I thought I had taken that guy out completely, but I guess I didn't. So let's go on the main path. This is where there was a giant enemy that burst through. Oh, that guy was at the top and he dropped down on me, which is unfortunate. He surprised me. I didn't know he was coming. Okay. We took him out. It's fine. I'll wait for this burn to go away and then I'll heal up. And that guy also came out of nowhere. So if you head over this way, there's a little smattering of enemies. And we're going to go up the stairs. There's an enemy hanging out here. So this is where the invisible bridge leads to. So we're not missing anything. We're getting everything possible here. We did make the complete circle. And we want to go over the top part of this and turn to the right. There are two enemies in here, but one of them is guarding a forgotten remembrance, and that's extremely important that we get that. Or maybe it was just one enemy. I thought there were two. Anyway, two enemies, whichever it is. Over in this corner, open up the golden chest and get the forgotten remembrance number 10. Once you have collected it, we can continue making our way on the main path. When you get up to the top, you want to go straight and a little to the right because there's a bamboozling here. Quickly go over and take him out. That's bamboozling number 17. And then if you want to, you can come over here and interfere with these guys fighting. Of course, you don't have to. It's not required. But, you know, there's a lot of essence to be gained here. A lot of red mercury, I mean. I was running out of stamina a lot there. And you don't get very much, a little soul grass for your trouble, but you do get all of the red mercury. We mainly wanted to come down this path solely for the bamboozling. And if you go up here, you can see this path is now blocked off, which I'm not really sad about because I didn't care for that area much anyway. So go grab the item, head back down, and then there is a path to the right. We want to take this path, and if you remember, we came here earlier. There's that red door there. I can't remember if we opened it or not, but it is closed now for me, so that could be because I didn't open it to begin with, or it could be that it's just closed now that we're on our second run through of this area. But I'm pretty sure I didn't open it. If you go over here to the right of these stairs into the house, there will be a red-eyed enemy inside of here. And we definitely want to take him out. That is a free red mercury essence if we defeat him. And there's nothing else in this house. So let's head back downstairs, turn to the right, and we're going to go through that red door. There's a bird with an arm feather here. And when you open up those red doors, there will be lots of enemies are going to be fighting each other. One of them is a red-eyed enemy who actually has a name, like he has an NPC name. I can't remember if we talked to him at some point, or I don't know. I can't remember. We've talked to so many NPCs that it does make it a little difficult to try to and remember. But either way, this is a named NPC fighting an enemy, and he's the red-eyed enemy. So when he gets close to defeating that other guy, we want to go over there and take him out. Try and get him with a backstab if possible. He can be difficult if you don't surprise him. He gives a red mercury essence as well. And then you're going to see to the left and the right are enemies fighting everywhere. And if you don't remember this area, this is like the Reverend Temple courtyard. It should look familiar. You can choose either path to go to first. I am going to take out all of the enemies in the area just so that I can collect all of the red mercury possible. You see those guys that are fighting over there. You're going to see a cut in just a minute because I did get killed, unfortunately. But don't worry, it actually will probably go faster for you since I made the cut. Yeah, here I'm in the same spot picking up my red mercury. Those guys are still over there fighting. I'm just gonna wait a second and see what happens. Oh, he messed up my backstab. I forgot that happened. Be careful with this guy. He's really tough. He almost killed me again right there. And he can shoot out of that giant hammer he's got. So this is where we began the area. If you remember, this is where we first met the boatman and all that. So if you didn't recognize this area, now you should. There are several items scattered around here, and a lot of the enemies that are laying on the ground are not dead. They're just playing possum. So you may want to preemptively take them out so they're not a nuisance. And then over here, you'll see there are more enemies fighting. I really don't like these guys. They're really tough. So if you can get lucky and backstab them, definitely take that opportunity. And that should be everything. We should have completely cleared the area. And of course, if you don't care about the Red Mercury, you can bypass all of these enemies and run straight up to the Reverend Temple. So that is absolutely your choice. When you come up here, you're going to see the shrine. It's in the same place, but this is technically a different shrine. We have to activate it all over again. Before we do that, we're going to go behind the shrine. This path is now open. You can take out the bird with the arm feather at the top, break that vase here to pick up the divination plate. And you'll see there's an NPC sitting over there. We're not going to talk to her right away. We're going to pick everything up first. So pick up the item next to her. That is a longevity necklace. There is Jade Pendant number 29 on the ground further on. And if you break one of these urns here, you can pick up another ceramic jar. And unfortunately, the child that was here, his head is now sitting on top of the jar just to the left of Fang Yao. So speak to Fang Yao.
Left. And
She seems very upset. And I can't say that I blame her. I would be pretty upset if I saw a child's head sitting on top of an explosive jar. That would be extremely disturbing. But you know, Fang Yao's seen a lot. When you finish talking to her, she'll give you the Ring of Samsara Cause and the research journal Scrap 3. You definitely want to talk to her so that you can get those. That Ring of Samsara is an in-game item. End-game item that we're going to need for the endings. So don't neglect talking to her. If you come over here where we used to be able to speak to the NPCs in the tents, this might be them. I think maybe those NPCs turned into these bad guys here. Either way, we made short work of them and put them out of their misery. You can come around, pick up all the items that you see scattered in the area, and then make your way back over to the shrine. This, even though we've already interacted with this shrine in Worship's Rise earlier, this is technically shrine number 43 because we have to offer blood at it again. So it's not the same shrine, it's just in the same place. Once you've done that, you can do any upgrading that you may like to do. I'm just kind of stacking my essence right now. I haven't done a lot of upgrading, but we'll get to that later. Right now we need to go inside of the Reverend Temple and we'll speak to Youjian, the lady. And when you talk to her, you're going to get several options of what to give her. You have a lot of items that you can give her. And I think this is the last time that we're going to interact with her. I'm going to show her the Imperial Guard token. If you hand over the brocade bag, she doesn't give you anything and she gets really upset. So I'm going to give her the token. She'll give me a radiant red feather and she won't be sad. Let's go up the stairs after you interact with her. And right in front of the stairs, there is a spell. Be sure to just walk over there This spell is pretty good. It's like the first spell that we got. If you remember the very first spell, you just kind of shoot a little bit of magic at him. This is the same thing, except it gives you health. So it takes health from the enemy and it gives you health. So it's much better.
Is that so?
When you come up the second flight of stairs, you can speak to Youzai.
Do you recognize it?
And poor guy, he seems to be losing his memory. He's really not sure what's going on anymore. So show him the research journal, scrap 3,
Could they have been resurrected
when
by
you're prompted.
some power too. I see. To save the Emperor's coffin lies within the burning cave ahead.
It's like once you kind of remind him what's going on, he seems to pick up, but it doesn't last long.
Don't worry about me. Hurry
Anyway, be sure and ask him what's wrong, because you'll get the Ring of Samsara effect. And that, again, is an end game item that we need to finish the game. So exit the temple at the top, and we're basically going back to where we started. If you remember, we came out of a cave in the very beginning. We're going to go back toward that cave. When you get up here, you'll see that Xuanyangzi is sitting next to a shrine. So don't talk to him just yet. You can pick up the items, take out the Aurum Featherbird, and then interact with shrine number 44. We're not going to talk to him yet. We're going to fast travel over to Annalum first. Don't ask me how she got here so quickly, but we're actually going to speak to Fang, which we just saw her over at the Reverend Temple, and somehow she has magically teleported to Annalum. I don't know how she did it, but I wish I could. I wish I could move that fast. Anyway, she's inside of the house directly across from the shrine. So come and talk to her through the wall and she'll say she's not going to talk to you unless you and Youzai are there together. Well, I don't know why she calls him Hidashia, but, you know, whatever. I guess maybe it's a nickname or something. I don't know. Just speak to her and then run back to the shrine and fast travel back to the burning cavern. Now, just as a disclaimer, if you're playing on the updated version, it may be called the Burning Cave. I don't know. I am playing a New Game Plus playthrough with the updated version, but I did not get this far yet. So just giving you a heads up, it may be called something different. Now, once you get back here, we want to make a cloud save immediately. We're going to have to make a different choice later on. So this is going to be like the shorter ending. It's not the very early ending, but it's very short. So make your cloud save and then come over here and speak to Xuanyangzi. And when you're prompted, you want to give him the chisel. So this is not going to give us the two good endings. This is rather a bad one. But hand over the jade feather chisel to him when he asks. And that is going to lock us into this shorter ending. Once you're done speaking to him, you can climb up the stairs here to go back into the cave that we emerged from in the beginning. But it's going to be very different this time. You can see the statue that was up behind us is now knocked down. Don't forget to use your light. It's pretty dark in here, so you're probably going to need it. Head back behind the fallen statue. And you technically don't have to do all of this if you don't want to. You can just run straight into the boss, but I am going to do it because there is a Lost Remains in here that I would prefer to have for the boss. You'll have to take out this bird enemy when you first get in, or you can run right past him. He's a pain. All these bird enemies are a pain, honestly. You can go over here and pick up this item. Just be careful because you will suffer corruption damage from being in the water. There's another item off to the left that you can pick up, but you will aggro some enemies when you come over to get it. So beware of that. They're going to follow you out of the corrupted water. I'm also trying to get as much red mercury as I can. So I'm going to take the time to take out these enemies. He got me that time, but it's alright. Now, when you come further back here, you'll see there's a structure in the middle, and you can go all the way around. I'm going to go to the right first. There are a couple of items over here that you can grab, and you can check that book as well. Continue going to the right of the path. A couple of enemies are going to be playing possum here, so beware of that. You'll see little items glowing, but it's just enticing you so that you pick it up and don't notice these enemies. As you come around, we're now at the back of that main structure in the middle. You're going to see a glowing golden chest when you come around that middle structure. Take out this enemy and beware there's another enemy coming from your left. Once you've taken care of these guys, you can open up the chest and collect Lost Remains number 9. Now, keep in mind, we're going to have to do all of this again when we reload. So don't go thinking, oh, I already got that one. Once you reload, you're going to have to do it all again. You can come up behind this enemy and get an easy backstab on him. But there is another bird enemy coming from further away, so beware of him. Thankfully, we were able to knock him down. That helped a lot. And then, if you want to, you can drop down in the center. I think there are 2 items in the center, but you'll have to come back up here. There's not a lot of places where you can get out. And you'll aggro enemies as you go along. Just make your way around the circle. There was 1 item we picked up there. And then there's another on the backside. And try to stay on those little pillars because they help to mitigate the corruption. And then make your way out. And we're going to head back over to the shrine to use our mana vase upgrade for sure. And then we're going to do some boss prep because we're going into a 2-part boss fight. So we'll have a boss with a full health bar, and once you take that down, the boss transforms and you get another full health bar. Now this one is going to be, we're going to go about this different than we have any other boss. We're going to change out our tempering needles and our main weapon. So let's go into the impetus. I have all that red mercury saved up. Be sure to use your mana vase upgrade. I'm going to upgrade a lot of my magic. We're going to come and we have to change the stone needle, the large one, to flame. And I'm going to use in all of my smaller needle spots. We need to use all of the large ones that focus on tempering. And we also need to change out the weapon. So first we'll do our pendants. We want to use this demon pendant We're also going to use the Coiled Dragon and the Dracolich Pendant, because this one roars and we don't want to get stopped from that roar. Now, the spells don't really matter all that much. The fire spell does work good, and you can use Lotus Soul Flame, but Lotus Soul Flame takes a really, really long time to cast it, so it's not ideal. We're also going to change our outfit. We want to mitigate magic. So find any outfits that you have that have the highest magic mitigation. That's what's going to be the most important. So we're going to dress completely differently than we have throughout the majority of the game, because most of the enemies that we encounter, we need a lot of slash and stab damage protection. We're not going to need that so much here. This boss uses a lot of magic, so the more protection that we can get from that, the better. That's why I'm going through this very slowly, so that you can see. I'll pick an item that has a lot of magic, and then I'll go through and just watch the magic mitigation and see if any of them are higher and by how much. And then from there I can also see what else I might be giving up, you know, because I have yet to find any super OP armor that doesn't have any red. So this is the outfit that I chose. It's a lot of the avian hunter stuff. Be sure to change out your weapon. We want the Flamebringer longsword. I'm going to just put in a one-handed sword, because if you have the very first in your skill tree, if you have the very first upgrade done, you will just, by holding a one-handed sword, you will automatically earn feathering. So we're just going to hold this one-handed sword and let the feathering build up, but we're not going to use it for the fight. So if you did have to enter the dream again, all these enemies will be here again, and you can just run right past them. That'd be like if you needed to refill your mana vases or something like that. But as of right now, I have not entered the dream, so I'm just walking very slowly, letting that feathering build up, and it does seem like it takes a couple of minutes. I don't know, maybe 30 seconds to 1 minute for the feathering to build when you're holding the one-handed sword. So when you use this tactic, you're going to find yourself standing around for a while, just waiting for that feathering to build up. Let's make our way down the stairs. If you take the left path, you'll see stairs to the left, and we'll find NPC, the plain Warrioress. Let's speak to her before we go in.
You've been meddling with
I'm just letting her talk slowly since I'm waiting for that feathering to build up. And you can see off in the distance that there is a boss there waiting for us. So I'm going to swap out my throwing knives for the whistle, because if you give the chisel to the Yangzi, you can call him to help you in this fight. So it's going to make it a whole lot easier. The problem is, if you don't give him the chisel, then he can't help you. So when we come back and make the different choice, it's going to be way harder. So when you come in, first thing you want to do is blow your whistle. Switch over to your longsword. Fire it up with tempering. And you'll want to use your L1 ability, because this is going to light this guy on fire really fast, and it takes huge chunks of health off. Now he does hop around a lot, so you may want to wait until right after he finishes an attack set before using that L1. But it basically just twirls your longsword around and sprays fire everywhere, so you're going to get rid of him in no time. And once he's dead, you'll get a cutscene, and he'll transform into an upright dragon. He'll jump in the sky and run away, and Xuanyangzi is still going to be here helping us. He's just going to run from a different area. Now that large golden orb that's coming toward us, you're going to have to dodge. So when it gets close, you want to dodge right before it explodes, and then keep dodging. And then you usually get that attack afterward. Keep an eye on your flame bringer. You're probably going to have to temper it again at this point. Here, I used the Lotus Soul Flame on him, but it didn't do a whole lot of damage. I don't think I have enough magic in my skill tree for it to be super useful just yet. So here, I'm going to temper up my weapon. You'll want to learn his moveset. He does a lot of that, whatever that orb is that he's holding, he does a lot of swiping it around. And then he'll also swipe around his sword. And he gets pretty much all around his body. When he stabs the ground, you're gonna want to dodge through it. I used the Lotus Soul Flame again, and this time I was able to get critical hit because of the poise break that it caused. Here he's healing up. When he does that, you want to quickly dodge out of the area of effect. And he is able to heal himself in that. So it takes your health and it heals him. So do be careful. But it doesn't give him very much. So we should very easily take him out right about now. You get the Dragon Emperor Youjian trophy. And once the cutscene is over, you're going to automatically be teleported to a different area. Yeah, that poor guy is like sitting in that little eyeball covered by fingers. It is so, that's so Resident Evil. It is just like they took that page straight out of Capcom's playbook. Anyway, once the cutscene's over, you get a loading screen, and then you're gonna pop into an area that we have never seen before.
So the true dragon's blood beckons.
Luckily, we spawn in directly in front of a shrine. You have a short little cutscene where you're waking up and seeing lots of weird things. There's our NPC lady friend. I'm not sure why she died like that, but she did. And then here we have Xuanyangzi. He is still alive, sitting next to the shrine. And here we collect the spoils from our fight. You can come over here and see the dead body of, I think that's Youjian, and her man that never talked. They both fell down here and died. Walk over to Xuanyangzi and talk to him, and he'll have different dialogue depending on whether or not you gave him the chisel. But since we did give it to him, he seems kind of happy. Then come over to the shrine and offer up some blood to activate it. This will be shrine number 45, and it's also where we are going to end this video. So go ahead, use your impetus if you need to, and then join me back here in part number 27. Thank you all so much for watching. Please don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. Until then, Khajiit always has wares.